Welcome back to Entrepreneur Country TV. I'm Julie Meyer and I'm filming today out of Zagreb, Croatia, where I've been all week, meeting with some of Zagreb's leading entrepreneurs, and we have a set of business partners here that help us grow Entrepreneur Country. I'm really pleased to introduce to you this morning Hrvoje Kovac of Rukoplastika. Hrvoje?
Hello everybody, thank you for having us here.
You bet. Really interesting what you're doing. I love the vision of basically taking the unique opportunity. You've got a niche group of people that don't have maybe two limbs, that want to play games, and you're facilitating their entertainment pleasure. Tell us how you came across that opportunity.
Hello everybody again, my name is Hrvoje and I'm a gamer. Unfortunately, in 2015 I contracted a rare disease and my right fist had to be amputated in order to stop the disease from spreading. Okay. My main challenges in life after my surgery is how can I adapt my surroundings to my disability. Like for example, I drive a car with an automatic transmission and I have a knob on my steering wheel so I can drive. I can't cut my fingernails anymore. Right. I have to get a manicure. Right. But at least it's 50% off when I drive, right? And second-hand shops are extremely disappointing. But the most frustrating thing I encountered when I started having my predicament is I couldn't game, because in order to game today you need 2 fists and 10 dexterous fingers. Yes. Yes. So I started adapting my surroundings, and this is like the first thing I devised. Wow. Yeah. So this is fabulous. Yeah. This is like a regular wireless mouse. Okay. With some duct tape. Okay. And a sock. Okay. And if I want a game, I just put it on my stump. And now I've changed the paradigm a little bit. Wow. Okay, so I map the left mouse button to the space key on my keyboard. Okay. It allows me to play some slower games, and it is really like a big step up, you know. But it was just like a first prototype, you know. It was like almost a hobby thing because I wanted to game. And the problem with this device, it's really rudimental and doesn't have a lot of input. I actually have to exchange the space key for this one. You know, it's not. It wasn't enough for me. Yes. You know. So after like a couple of years playing like this, this came into market. This is an Xbox adaptive controller. Okay. New Microsoft product, right. Which is basically aimed at people with disabilities. So This was a surprise to you, probably. Yeah, of course, because none of the things available up until that point, nothing was made for people with disability. And you have to understand, there's like 200 million people on this planet who have some significant disabilities. Wow. Yeah, that's like the largest minority almost in the world. Yep. And this is an awesome thing because it is a joystick controller, but it is also a platform. Right. Because Microsoft launched this product and they drew their line there. So they are not making any official switches or something like that. And because it's so easy to connect to any Xbox controller button, this is a completely new and open market for everybody who wants it. And you can connect it using just a 3.5 millimeters mono switch. So this is basic electronics 101. Interesting. Yeah. So with my team, we started experimenting. Like, how can we now, when we have this accessibility joystick, how can we adapt my surroundings to something like that? And this is what we devised. So we 3D printed a foot switch. This has been 3D printed? Yeah. It is a simple switch that I can use while I game with my foot. Okay. And for example, I can connect it here to, let's say, left trigger button on the controller. And now, when I press it with my foot, it registers in game like whatever I wanted to register, because I can map to whatever I want.
Wow.
And this is what I came up with. I bind forward movement
Right.
Of any game to
Right.
this foot switch.
Indeed.
And that frees up my middle finger on the W button on the
Yes.
control on the keyboard.
Yes.
And this allows me to map it to some more suitable action. For example, shooting
Yes.
in FPS games where
Yes.
reaction time is really, really important.
Yes.
So essentially with this product, I enabled myself to game. I'm not disabled anymore when I'm gaming, I'm enabled.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
pretty much it.
Now, this is fascinating. I want to come back to that, but for just a moment, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Okay.
You were not running Rukoplastika at the beginning. You were doing something.
Yeah.
Then you had the incident.
Yeah.
And you decided to set this business up. Tell us a little bit about, why,
so
how do you have all of the knowledge to do this? This is incredible.
I grew up playing games.
Okay.
Like
Hobby. It's a hobby.
it was a pleasure. It was like a almost like a therapeutic thing.
Yeah.
Because I during my gaming career, I was an astronaut, I was a soldier, I was a pirate. I grew up playing games.
Right.
And I grew up playing games with my friends.
Right.
And when I had my unfortunate event,
Yeah.
my life changed because before my surgery, I was living in the States,
Okay.
in New York, working in the hospitality industry, and I just couldn't work that. I couldn't do that anymore.
Right.
I got back to Croatia. I had to do some chemotherapy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And after that, I got a job. I'm a back office administrator in one IT company here in Croatia.
Okay.
But gaming is vital, I believe, especially for people with disability, because it allows them to go back into society.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's a great thing because it literally enables them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you're online and you have a setup like this,
Yes.
nobody doesn't even have to know that you are disabled.
That's right.
In real life. It's
Absolutely.
liberating, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And it is, I would call this a gift.
Yeah.
And this all started because of my need to play, to socialize with people online. And with a couple of my friends, we just saw an opportunity in this. Because, okay, now we're talking about people with disability gaming. But to look at like a bigger picture, like look into the future. What's gonna happen in a couple of years, especially in the gaming industry? And it's important to point out, gaming industry today is worth more than movie and music industry combined.
Wow.
Yeah. And there is gonna be a big change. There's a big change coming in VR and AR gaming,
Yes,
especially with 5G
Yes.
technology coming.
Yes.
And it's gonna change the paradigm.
Yes.
And this is keyboard and mouse won't be enough in the future in order to game. And this is our actually business idea is not just enabling disabled people in gaming,
Yes.
but to provide custom solutions for all gamers.
Interesting.
Because it's a huge market.
It's a type of personalization.
Yeah. And every player is different. Every player has different needs, and we want to satisfy those needs.
Right.
And with our 3D printers, 3D scanners, we can approach every case like on a custom base.
Fabulous. It's an incredible vision. Some of us have really good vision, others do not. Some of us are right-handed, some of us are left-handed. The world is full of personalized situations, and you're going to cater to customize per categories of people, but the categories can become very small or be very big, but you're going to figure that out in the gaming world. That's absolutely fabulous, absolutely fabulous. How long did it take you to realize that this was a market and that this was a real business, not just something that you were doing to kind of get back into society?
As soon as I started playing with this, because I believe that a solution like this is for every gamer.
Yes.
Because it's so intuitive
Yes.
to have forward movement
Yes.
on your right foot.
Right.
like driving in a car.
Driving in a car.
And it just frees up another, okay, so there's 5 fingers on this hand.
Yes.
And they're on the keyboard.
Yes.
And so with this switch, we free up 20% of the fingers.
Absolutely.
For something that's more suitable.
Right.
And in the gaming world, in games, milliseconds are what can decide a game or a match or something like that.
So you have, right now you have a number of different expertise that have enabled you to do this.
Sure.
What about, where are the areas of expertise for 325,000 people listening to you? If they say, oh, I can help that guy, I know how to do what? What are the additional types of expertise, maybe from investors or partners or employees that might listen to you say, I want to go be a part of that. That's super cool.
Okay, so there are a couple of, we can call them challenges we have to surmount. Is that a word?
That's a word.
Okay, so the important thing, I don't have it here with me, but we've devised mouse sock Mark II. It's special because it uses 3D model of my stump, which helps us to create a perfect ergonomical cup that fits on a person's stump, in this case mine.
Right.
And that can be connected to practically any wireless mouse.
Right, right.
So, but the problem with 3D modeling, 3D scanning, is that technology is moving rapidly. It's amazing how fast it's going, but it's still expensive.
Right, right.
So,
it has to come down.
Yeah, so it has to come down, but also it already is coming down.
Okay.
For example, if we find a person who has a similar disability like mine, from California, let's say, all we need is to have like a CT scan of his stump.
Right, right.
And from that CT scan, we can extrapolate the geometry of his stump and make a perfect ergonomical fit that needs to be made.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Like, okay, that's a challenge, but we're working around how to solve that that problem.
Okay.
And also, I mean, I wouldn't call that problem. I would call that what's beautiful about our idea. Every solution we devise, it's custom.
Yes.
And of course, that it's going to put like our price of our products a little high. But there are no other companies in the world like this who are approaching this market.
Yeah.
And especially in orthopedics, prosthetics, stuff like that, 3D printing is the future also, because every prosthetic, every orthopedic shoe, knee, arm, whatever you need, it has to be custom made.
Interesting.
It cannot be like mass produced.
Right.
And 3D printing is gonna drive the costs down, and it's gonna be, I believe, that's gonna revolutionize the entire orthopedic industry.
Wow.
And this is just like a basic sign how this is already available today for anybody to do.
Cool. It's just cool. It's really cool. What has been the most interesting thing in the journey of bringing this business to life that you thought, oh my God, I never would have thought?
It's how people approach me personally when they really truly understand that I'm not disabled, I'm enabled. Yes. You know, because it's almost like it feeds other people. You know, I'm the guy that they're going to talk about to their family when they meet me, when they come home at the end of the day. Yes. I met an amazing guy with an amazing story. Yes. And that's the thing I'm like most proud of. Yes. In this, and I haven't really anticipated that.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely inspiring to hear. First of all, you are an extremely likable person, and then the fact that you're solving a problem out of your own life experience. If people extrapolate, we all have life experiences, and we can choose how we want to deal with those life experiences. Let's solve the problem for the rest of the world, right? Sure. It's beautiful.
It is a gift.
It's a gift.
I really truly view it as a gift.
Well, I think you're amazing. What do you think about the investment opportunity here? Do you think if we've got a number of investors that will be listening to this, we are an investment firm, are you ready to take in outside funding?
Of course, because as I mentioned many times before, custom solutions are not cheap.
Right.
They are getting cheaper, but they are still not at the point where somebody, especially with disability, who lives with stigma in his life, who has limited access to funds, to it's when you're disabled, the odds are not in your favor anymore.
That's right.
You have to. It doesn't matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
But for example, everybody boasts with open. How can I say open-mindedness?
Yes.
But for example, it took me 2 years to find a job.
Yes.
Because nobody wants to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say nobody, but when you're like looking for a job,
yes,
it's not an advantage to be disabled.
No.
But through my struggle,
yes,
I have found out that how can I say it? Accessibility promotes ability. And if I show that I'm an accessible, that can show that I'm also able.
Well,
this is a gift that can able anybody.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, the competency, the creativeness, and the commitment to making this happen is incredibly inspiring and extraordinary. What would you like to share as a kind of final word to the audience that's listening to you about this business opportunity, about the market, about you? What would you like to leave them with?
Okay, so first of all, what's really important is to acknowledge the humane aspect of this.
Absolutely.
And that is not something that can be expressed with financial signs, dollars, euros, whatever. When you truly enable somebody, that doesn't, you cannot put a price on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But also, what we believe that this idea has enormous business potential because we were able to link our problem solving for people with disability to
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
Because we truly believe the world is going to change.
Yeah.
With 5G, VR, AR, not just in gaming, in education, in entertainment. Like when you, in 10 years, I think that you're going to be watching the Super Bowl with your goggles on.
Yes.
TV is not going to be necessary anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And custom-made solutions
yes.
are going to become everyday objects.
Absolutely.
And this is the enormous potential we see in our idea and our startup.
So you're pioneering much more than just this niche.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and just a great story. And I love the whole ethos of you're an enabler, you're enabled, as opposed to the contrary. Thank you for sharing that with us on Entrepreneur Country TV. We're going to be back every quarter, continuing to follow the journeys of entrepreneurs here in Zagreb. So we look forward to having you back.
Sure.
We're going to be sharing information about your business, Rukoplastika, online here on the Entrepreneur Country website. And I really appreciate you making time for me this morning.
If you or anybody who is watching this knows somebody who we can help, I encourage them to contact us.
We will make sure that they have your contact details, emails, website, phone
on
number.
Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Just look us up, Rukoplastika.
Fantastic. Hrvoje Kovac, thank you so much for sharing with us your vision and your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
That brings us to the end of another Entrepreneur Country TV. We are super inspired here in Zagreb, Croatia. That was Hrvoje Kovac of Rukoplastika talking about his vision for enabling people in niche markets to be enabled through what we have seen here. We'll be sharing more about his incredible company and the vision and the pioneering spirit that he has in future times. Thank you for joining us on Entrepreneur Country TV. Thank you for sharing these broadcasts. We look forward to seeing you next week.